very next day is when Amber tried to blackmail me, and she said things like, she said, I wonder what your husband would think if she knew you were doing what you were doing with the karaoke guy. When I caught her in this lie, that's when I couldn't trust her ever again for anything. I knew she was capable of just bold-faced lying. So she lies and tells me that where she works, they don't allow employees to bring their own lunch to work. I contact her work and I just say something like, hey, I was thinking about applying for employment at your place. Do you have refrigerator or an area where we can keep our lunches? Oh yeah, we have a full kitchen refrigerator. Confronted Amber about it. She had put a sign up in the room. It's on YouTube that she handwritten. Not allowed to bring your own.
She wrote a sign.
The picture is down in this very same. I confronted her about it. She was busted with that too.
Allowed to bring bagged lunches. Put it up on the wall. Took a picture of it and sent it to you.
On God.
Hello, everybody. It's me. In today's video for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing. You heard it here last. Well, here we are. Amber Reid's aunt is speaking out against her and would like to expose her, supposedly. Does the fun ever start? Apparently it did. Amber did the rational thing, the amazing thing, the only thing that you could do in this situation when one of your own family members writes on Mr. Snowflake's video that they would like to expose you. She decided to spill all kinds of inappropriate tea and information on her channel live. Now, something that is super, super, super important is that in the middle of all of this, Amber's aunt called into Oh Lordy, It's Jordy's live stream reaction channel. I will link his video down below. She exposed Amber live on the phone call. The real MVP of the whole situation is the aunt. So, by the way, I love it how every weekend somebody new is exposing Hans Christian Pookie Reid. So yeah, her aunt actually exposed Amber live. Pookie, if this isn't the personification and culmination of your Kermits coming home to roost. Remember, Amber, karma's a Kermit, and it's here to expose you live on Jordy's channel. Maybe you need Mommy and Blanky. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this screenshot that I have right here is from Despectful Moments on Instagram, who I'll link down below. Amber's aunt went on, I believe this is Mr. Snowflake's video, and said this. I don't know at Mr. Snowflake. Amber seemed really upset that Tommy talked to you of all people. Apparently she dislikes you the most. So would only make sense that when and if I became ready to really talk and officially, quote, burn the bridge with Amber, I would probably just go all in and choose you. This is her aunt, everybody. But she's never done, Amber's big answer is, I've never done anything to her. I've never done anything to her. She doesn't like me because of my mommy. I have personally learned, which was obvious, that this woman telling us that she's this different person in her real life, and in her real life, people really care about her and, you know the real her is not true. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm sharing my own opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. This is why I'm telling you, please don't take everything I say seriously. Please do not go to these people's channels that leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. This is the phone call between Jordy and Amber's aunt. This is Amber's aunt exposing Amber.
Okay, so obviously she's over there trying to say that I'm mentally unstable and this and that. Aren't we all in one way or another? But I haven't been on any medication for, 6-7 years. I did go through 16 years of counseling, but of course, who wouldn't being in my family? That's just being honest. So I've had my day. I have my diagnoses. I have my labels, but I am mentally sound. I don't think that anything. Take the lies, the manipulation, the victim, the total absolute grossness of the. I just can't no more.
Just wanted to say that the fact that Amber went on her unhinged live stream and had enough nerve to call this woman mentally unstable and unstable. You know, whenever people say that to Amber, what Amber says, oh my God, you're shaming me. You're shaming me. Why is it okay for you to shame others? And what her aunt is talking about here is she's very unhappy with who Amber was dating. I have to say, like, I don't really care about Tommy and anything with Tommy. I just have to say, it is wild to me personally that Amber has enough audacity that whenever somebody from her family speaks out, she always says the person is unstable. Notice how she doesn't say that about the exes. The exes are always lying. So the aunt is lying too. Oh, well, the aunt is unstable. You couldn't be the common denominator, huh, Pookie?
I just can't. And the final straw really has been building up, and I've been saying it's coming, it's coming. A person can only hold back so much. I'm human at the end of the day. And my sister and Amber have done me extremely wrong over the last 2 years, and I have remained silent. And I'm just done being silent. Just like me, I've seen every single video she's ever put out, tried everything, leading by example. I have so many messages and calls and just telling her, I'm not trying to replace your mom. I'm just trying to be your person. She keeps all her girlfriends, every single one I have never met, even though I was the one constant in her life. I never got to talk to any of them. Of course, so she can keep her narrative straight, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure she had lots to say about me to each and every one. But I guarantee you, it wasn't me being the bad guy. I've caught her and posted years and years ago when I was angry before. Again, you just get to that point where enough is enough. I get a lot of messages you could imagine over the years, and it is a lot to deal with. And she thinks it's okay that she can put all my sister's business out on there for years with no cost. Now talk about my mom, things, people that are in her life now, but she's still bad mouthing them. She's still running the narrative that she's this poor little victim. Amber had more chances than most people do.
Opinion is that the reason that Amber hasn't had not one of her girlfriends meet her aunt is because deep down inside, she must understand that the aunt will say it how it really is, not like your yes man mother who, immediately loves everyone that you love and immediately dislikes everybody that you dislike. Being a yes man parent is ridiculous. You are the parent, not the friend, even though they're adults. You're supposed to give it to them as it is, not as they fantasize it is. Amber doesn't have a good grasp on reality. She lives in a different world where it revolves around her. And I think that's why she keeps the girlfriends away from the aunt. Also, what the aunt said about how she has trashed her mother for years. See, it's not just us that are saying, hey, Amber has been trashing her mother for years. Do you all know that Amber outed her own mom? She outed her own mom, and it was very detrimental to her mother. And Amber still has that YouTube video up on her channel. My point is, even Amber's aunt thinks that it is absolutely outrageous and inappropriate that Amber goes around and says negative things and has been saying negative things about her mother for like 10 years. Now she's besties with mommy because mommy drives her around. Now that she's your chauffeur and takes full care of you, now you can stop saying bad things about her. But it was okay to say bad things about her. And yeah, putting private personal business of your family on the internet is not looked upon as a good deed. Wonderful, amazing person. Amber, you say such a great person. Why would you do that to your family? I have a serious question for Amber. Why did Amber out her mother on the internet and hasn't apologized for it?
Like worst case scenarios, it is true. The difference is she was rescued from that, put into foster care. Every foster care house she went into was better than I had ever dreamed of living in. You know what I mean? She had those opportunities, but she squashed them and she never appreciated them. She would talk mad to me over the phone while they're in their, huge house and swimming in their pool and feeding her. Never good enough. So this goes way, way, way back, way back. Everyone knows my sister was in prison, right? She loved to spread that. Never a dime on her books. It was me every single month. Every single month, I paid her fines with her. I visited her. I have the picture the day I found my sister. One of the happiest days of my life, but it's not even when she got well. It still took a while. It took her to go to prison. Amber loves to talk about that as the victim, even though she wouldn't even write my sister when she was in prison. I would beg her, write your mom. Get stamp. She wouldn't even buy Moral, I have the text. She's not worth the 42-cent stamp.
My opinion is that the reason that she didn't write to her mom while the mom was in prison is because the mom couldn't do anything for her. You know, when Amber was nice to her mom, when Amber got sick, she needed mommy to come down because mommy could do something for her. You know, when Amber was nice to her mom, when mommy could chauffeur you around with stepdaddy, right? She could do things for you and stepdad could do things for you. Oh, wait until you hear the info that this woman has on that. Just wait. Anyways, my point here is this. Amber, you never even wrote to your mom? What a wild surprise, because mom couldn't do anything for you. Amber uses people. Alexis, her ex-friend, released an audio that I talked about here where you heard that Amber says that she basically wants to be involved with people who do nice things for her. Yeah, didn't write mom when mom was away because mom couldn't do anything for you. Basically, her mother was common enemy number one to her YouTube audience and to Amber right on her channel until her mom Amber ran out of choices of caretakers and girlfriends that could chauffeur her around. Now that mommy's chauffeuring you around, yeah, of course, saying mommy's nice. I think that there is a lot of validity to what this woman is saying about how Amber treated her mom. And never mind that we've all already seen it before. You can clearly see that Amber wants to be the victim in every situation and wants people to regard her as the victim because she believes that victims are innocent. Here's the thing. Amber recently said in one of her live streams, well, why can't just once you think of the victim in this with Tommy? Because you're not. You're not the victim. And I do think that Amber uses her mother's story to gain sympathy for herself. And basically, this is how it works. Amber does something bad on YouTube. Oh, I have something soul crushing. My mom is going through something. Remember when she dropped that morsel of drama and said that her mom is going through a health issue? Never mentioned it again. Not saying that it was a lie, but she only mentioned it to take your attention away from her bad behavior because it was used as a ploy. Everything this woman says about how Amber behaves is true. It's obvious. We've seen it.
Oh, Amber didn't want to help her mom ever. She always expected me to. And I did time and time again. I tried everything for my sister. Everything. And when she disrespected me the last time, I told her, you need to get out. Because number one, this is my house. And if you're not going to respect my house, you don't have a place to stay. Amber was there visiting me before my sister even got there, and we were good. We were really good. But because her mom was there, she wanted to get smart with me. So I told her, Amber, if you don't like it, you can go with her. Oh. My mom came and picked them up. And my mom weren't talking at the time, so there they go, off to the city with my mom, and that's when it all began on YouTube. Amber went on that vacation. She was supposed to be gone 2 weeks. My mom kicked her out, and then we can just keep going. During those days when there's snow days and Amber's like, oh, you're a horrible person. You, how could you let my mom sleep outside? She never put her up in a hotel. She never opened up her home. Like 99% of my family, they all want to talk. Well, I would.
It's really amazing to me. Why didn't Amber open up her home to her mother? She used to make a lot of money on YouTube. When you started making a lot of money on YouTube, why didn't you say, Mom, let's move in together. I'll support you. I'll help you. This is just like that time when Amber wouldn't help her brother and people came at me and were like, oh my God, Karina is so wrong for saying that Amber should help her brother because he's, he doesn't have a home and he's unhoused. Why? I'm not saying to give him millions, but my point is Amberlynn Reid doesn't help her family, but expects everybody to chauffeur her around. What this woman is saying, even if you don't believe her or whatever the case may be, a lot of it is what we've already discussed. A lot of it is information that we've already known. Amber doesn't help her family. And when I said that she should help her brother at some point, somehow, a lot of people said that I was wrong. No, I wasn't. Amber should help people. Listen, she throws hundreds of thousands of dollars at all her girlfriends, but oh, how terrible would it be if she ever helped mommy? Look at what your mom does for you. Your mom chauffeurs you around. Without your mom, you're not going to the vet. Without your mom, you're not going anywhere. Why didn't you ever help your mother out? as she was getting back on her feet when you were making, remember, Amber said she was making $30,000 a month. She wasn't lying about that. Unbelievable.
But they never do. It was always me. It's always been me. I've been my sister's keeper my whole entire life. By the grace of God, she still maintained it, even with this craziness that she has to deal with because of Amber. But me and my sister's relationship is destroyed for a whole new, a totally separate reason. Nothing to do with Amber. But during these 2 years that I haven't talked to my sister, Amber hasn't talked to me. She hasn't texted me. She hasn't called me. She hasn't tried in any way, shape, or form. She's a grown adult. So what is she going to say? Oh, you were mad at my mom, so I couldn't talk to you? Like, what kind of game is that? So I kept waiting, and I kept waiting, thinking, how I dreamt of this day. That's what you guys don't understand. I dreamt of this right here, my sister to be clean and sober. It was beyond my dreams, beyond. My sister exceeded my dreams in that. And then when I found out Amber was moving here, we're talking dream coming true. I thought everything was going to change. I thought we would diet together. We would walk together. I could be the person she needed. Finally, in the present, you know? She used me to go check out her apartment because her mom didn't have time or the want to do it. I was good enough to be contacted then. I was the one who checked the apartment she still lives in. I was the one who did all those arrangements so she could have that apartment. Then Rick and, Ricky and Eric come to visit. Me and my husband travel a lot with his job, so we're out of town. No warning whatsoever. She sends me a text. Hey, Eric and Ricky's in town. You want to meet them? I tell her, I'm sorry, I'm out of town. I won't be back till Sunday. Oh, they'll be gone by then. Last I heard from her.
This is important. So the aunt had to go and check out the apartment that Amber lives in now because her mom didn't want to, didn't have the time, wasn't interested, whatever the case may be, okay? And the aunt did it for her. So you can come and say that your aunt is unstable after she did that for you. That's a huge thing that she did for her. I want you all to understand, if you've ever gotten an apartment in another state, a lot of people don't have the money or the time or the, ability with work. Of course, Pookie does, but Pookie would never travel, right? So when somebody goes and looks up the apartment for you and sees if it's all good, that's a big thing that her aunt did for her. And by the way, how do you repay her? You go and you say terrible things about her in your live stream. By the way, here's something very interesting. You see what the aunt is saying? Eric and Ricky supposedly came to visit Amber in Oklahoma. Amber never said a word to her audience. My opinion, certain people, of course not Eric and Ricky, are embarrassed to be associated with you and don't want you saying that they have anything to do with you. What amazing friends they were to somebody you used to date. Yeah, fantastic. The reason that I wanted to say something about this is Amber's job on YouTube is to talk about the things going on in her life. She never told you that they visited. I already told you why I think that she didn't tell you, but her whole job is to tell you what's going on in her life. She lied about this. She never told you this was going on. I want you to think about this. What else is she hiding? What else is she not telling you? A lot. Remember how for years I said, I know she's hiding something? This is just one of the many things that she's hiding. Her whole channel is smoke and mirrors. Everything is not what it appears.
See, I'm very upset, and I could go on and on and on. I'm just it's just that's where I'm at. I'm just tired.
Right. And I mean, if you're not talking to her, and you're not talking to your sister, and I mean, there's no really way to get through to them, and it doesn't really seem like...
It's lies after lies. Oh, my God.
But it doesn't seem like Amber's interested in having a relationship with you, unfortunately.
No, she used me. She just used me for when it was convenient.
So she just used you to... And you think the only reason why she initially reached out was to try to get help with her apartment?
Tons of arguments, not talking, me catching her in another lie, not talking again, doing the hard love, the tough love, trying it again. She'll send me novels. I'm so sorry, Auntie. I can't believe I treated you this way. I push people away that I love. I know it's me. And then it's the same over and over over and over and over.
Manipulation, gaslighting, victim mentality, blame it on yourself as a manipulation tactic just to do it over and over again. So as you can see, the aunt is saying that she's caught Amber in many, many lies like the rest of YouTube and everybody around her. Every single person that has spoken out against her has always said, hey, she's a manipulator. Hey, she manipulated me. Beck, Valentine, Tommy, Destiny. People say this all the time. Look, bottom line is, you see what the aunt is saying. She used me. She used me. Amber's a user. She's used all of her girlfriends. She's currently using her mom. And by the way, the day that mommy realizes that she's being used is the day that's going to be the sweetest thing on YouTube. That's when all the tea will be spilled. Because here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Amber uses people until they have no more to give. And that is what is, in my opinion, currently happening with mom. Eventually, mom will see what's really going on. Amber, why do you use people without giving them anything back? Like Amber said, I only want to communicate with people that are nice to me, do nice things to me. Amber's a user. How many other people did she use? Used Valentine, used Tommy to do the laundry, used Beck to... when Amber said that she forgot how to do things in the lavatory because Beck was doing it, Beck was helping her in the lavatory, that's all I need to hear. You're a user. Even your aunt thinks so.
Got me here the other day was the tried to warn my sister when I first heard of her. First, I said, that girl is not good for Amber. Oh no, we want to, oh, she's so sweet. She bought this for us. She came and visited. Oh, she rented a Jeep. Okay. Did you not hear what I just said? Still wasn't enough. I was the bad one,
Oh my God! I know. What do you do? How can you help? Yeah. How in that situation? How can you help? Really?
I can't. But it's so hard to let go when you've been wanting something for decades. Yeah. And then it's like right there, the finish line's there. I got married 3 years ago, November 1st, right? Mm-hmm. To the love of my life. We've been together 13 years. So on our 10th anniversary, we get married. Me and Amber was talking at that time, and I put my hand on the Bible and say this. It would have been one of the happiest days of my life if Amber would have came to my wedding. I loved her that much. I never gave up on that girl, no matter how many fights we got into, no matter how many times she outright just lied to me. She tried blackmailing me. I mean, the things she has done is incredible, but I still kept forgiving and trying. But of course, she's too big to travel. She's this. She couldn't come.
People will say that they can relate to having family drama, and that's fine. I don't believe that this is an example of family drama. I believe, people always want to say that, Amber's just like them. I doubt it. The thing here is that this is years of mistreatment from Amber towards the aunt. One of the things that you'll hear throughout this phone call is that the aunt, like you just heard, will say, it would have been the happiest day of my life if Amber joined me on my wedding day. I was so elated when Amber said that she was moving here. I was the happiest. It sounds like the aunt genuinely loves her, genuinely loved you, and you lied and used her. By the way, one of the things that the aunt was talking about here is how she warned the mother about Amber dating Tommy. And what is Amber's mommy's answer? Oh, but she rented a Jeep and she came to visit my daughter. That doesn't mean that they had a healthy relationship or there were good intentions on both sides. Both. Sorry, let me paint a picture for you here. The picture is this, okay? The actual picture is this. I think that when you're a yes man, like Amber's mom, you're going to have a problem discerning when people have bad intentions or what. Even, how about this? Even when they don't have bad intentions, what intentions do people have surrounding your daughter? Your daughter has trolled the internet for years and is an infamous public figure. Do you really think, mother of Amber, that somebody renting a Jeep means that they're going to be with your daughter? The audacity, these are grown adults saying, well, she must be right for my daughter. She's so sweet. She rented a Jeep. Spending money on people isn't a sign of positivity. It's not a sign of success, and it's not a sign of things to come. Okay? Let me tell you something, and I've said this before a long time ago, and I hope you remember. Being nice is a tactic. It's not a personality trait. And this is not about Tommy. This is for everybody. When people are nice to you, they know what they're doing. It's not a personality trait. People say, oh, she's so nice. She's so nice. They're so nice. He's so nice. It's a tactic to get what they want. Because let me tell you something. This is not about Tommy. It's a general statement. Manipulators know that if they're nice, people will respond to that and discern it incorrectly. People discern the meaning of niceness incorrectly by assuming that that's your personality trait. It's a way to get what you want.
No, couldn't do it. And then right after she moves to Oklahoma, she goes visit me. She's here, she's there, but she couldn't come to my wedding. You know, it's just what's convenient for Amber all the time. Her narrative.
Doesn't sound like it mattered to her.
I about fell out of my chair that day. Because y'all want some tea? Here's a little bit of tea for that day. 2 hours? Freaking out, right? Kept saying, oh, I gotta get off. My mom's coming. 15 more minutes, 45 minutes later, she's still going on. It lasted for like 2 hours. At the end, you get a little conversation with her and my sister, which was about one of the phoniest conversations I've ever heard. They don't talk like that to each other at all. But then they get off. She gets off that just crazy live. She leaves. She goes to my mother's house and plays a card game with my mom, her mom, and her mom's boyfriend. That takes a couple hours. And then after that, they went to a Chinese buffet.
Yeah, Amber told us that.
Yeah. And then she gets back online and is so proud. Look I got my Sprite Zero, guys. Like, it makes me crazy. And then she goes and for another hour.
To intervene, but you just can't. And it's so frustrating.
Very frustrating. When you give literally decades to people and the outcome is this, that's sad.
Yeah. I mean, all these really years go by.
For you guys to see it because you don't see the real life. But everyone in our life knows it and sees it. All the drama. But she lied to me every single time. Every relationship was the best relationship, the love of my life. They're so great. They treat me so great until it's over. And then you guys see it.
Find it interesting that Amber kept saying that, people were waiting for her. She had to go out with her mom and spend the day with mom and grandma. And it was like a big thing that they were doing. You were sitting at home playing cards and then you went to a buffet. See how, here's the thing. Yes, it's true. Amber told us that she went to the buffet. I don't care. The idea here, and I see what her aunt is trying to say, but the point is, Amber always wants to be grandiose, like grandiose delusion of grandeur. I mean, I don't know, this is a vocabulary channel. Amber wants you to believe that she had this big day because she was like, oh, I've got to go. Where do you have to go? To your grandma's house? The point is she made it seem like they were waiting for her to go out for the day. That is how she made it seem, right? She implied that they were waiting for her, that they were leaving. But you just sat at somebody's house, played games, and then went to the buffet. Okay, wonderful. You went to the buffet, but why did you make it sound like they were waiting for you? We're going to do something important. What else is new? And as far as Amber saying, oh, all of my girlfriends are the most amazing girlfriends in the world, and then they break up. Yeah, Amber tries to use them for as long as she can. In the lavatory, she tries to use them try to use Tommy for the laundry, try to use Beck for the lavatory, try to use Destiny for Target shopping, try to use Valentine to leave her wife. And here we still are. Everyone is tired of you using them.
Like clockwork.
Yep.
But I have 13 years of text. There's never nothing, remember when she was working at the place with Destiny, taking care of the elderly people, which that was a crock. But she was working full time and doing all this stuff when she worked very little. And she'd start talking about packing lunches. And that, I think these people talked about this years ago. But when I caught her in this lie, that's when I couldn't trust her ever again for anything. I knew she was capable of just bold-faced lying. So she lies and tells me that where she works, they don't allow employees to bring their own lunch to work. That you have to eat the food that they prepare for those older people, like cafeteria food kind of stuff.
Can't bring your own lunch.
Yeah, cannot. No, no, no. So I can be vindictive sometimes when I get to my end. And when I get tired of something, I'm just like, you know what? This is ridiculous. So I call her work. It wasn't hard to figure it out, as a lot of you know. So I contact her work and I just say something like, hey, I was thinking about applying for employment at your place. Do you have refrigerator or an area where we can keep our lunches? Oh, yeah, we have a full kitchen, refrigerator, microwave, blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much.
Oh,
confronted Amber about it. She had put a sign up in the room. It's on YouTube that she handwritten. Not allowed to bring your own food. And
she wrote a sign.
The picture is down in this very same. Oh, it was just crazy. So I confronted her about it. She was busted with that too.
Fun ever start? So her aunt had asked her, hey, you can bring your own lunches to, work. Amber didn't want to pack her own lunches at a certain time. I remember watching videos where she did pack her own lunches. This was later, probably after she was caught in this lie. Imagine how much she lies to her own family for no reason. People that are pathological deceivers, when they tell smaller lies, it means a lot to them. That's something that I learned a while ago. Okay, so she didn't want to pack her own lunch, went and manipulated and faked and created an entire sign that she wrote, put it up at her job, took a picture of it, then clearly took it down to make her aunt believe that she couldn't bring her own lunch to work because she just wanted to, have lunch there. What's the big deal, sweetheart? You want to have lunch there? Have lunch there. Think about the audacity here. So she didn't just lie and say, we're not allowed to bring our own lunch. But in order to prove a blatant lie, she schemed and manipulated. And that is beyond dishonest. That's like very, very creepy behavior. She went and she created her own sign. She put up the sign so that the aunt would believe her and then took it down because she knew that it was a lie. And when people are lying and manipulating you, they know that they're being deceitful. By the way, you know what this reminds me of? Recently, Amber has been saying that she has to consume whatever it is at bingo because you're not allowed to bring your own lunch to bingo. Maybe that's true. If you're gonna comment, oh, this is true, it could be true. But what's the more likely option? The more likely option is Amber wants to do whatever she wants to do at bingo. She knows she gets opposition, so she's like, oh, well, no, they don't let you bring your own thing. Amber, it's one thing to lie about something, but to scheme and to write out your own little fake sign. So to manipulate the situation, to scheme and write out the sign to prove to your aunt that you're not allowed to bring your own lunch. What's with all the drama? Bring your own lunch. Don't. How about you go and live on your own and stop using people and stop manipulating people? If you ever needed a sign that this person cannot be trusted, I mean, we know that already. There it is. That is the most, I have to tell you something. Out of all the Amberlynn Reid lies, that is the most unhinged one because it's the least important one. And it's one thing if she just lied to her and said, we can't bring our own lunch. That's fine, per se, as far as a silly lie that nobody cares about. But for her to go ahead and create a fake sign at her work to prove what she's saying means that she tries to cover her tracks. She tries to lie. The whole time that she's been on YouTube and in her private life, she lies. Oh, but people love you so much in your private life, right, Pookie? This has to go down in history as the most unhinged lie and preparation to cover your lie after.
She created a sign that said no employees are allowed to bring bagged lunches, put it up on the wall, took a picture of it, and sent it to you.
On God. On God. On God.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's so much. And people, my family in general, probably don't like a lot about me is I'm overly honest. I'm overly blunt. I started going out with my mother to karaoke. I met a man at a karaoke show. He was actually running the karaoke show. Value the vows of marriage, very much so. And I will try everything before I give up. I ended up having an affair with him. And it was, like I say, very, very different for me, my character. And I tell my sister what's going on.
Oh.
Sorry. I tell her what's going on because you're supposed to. I was living a life I didn't like living, but it was happening. And I kind of knew it couldn't keep happening. Well, she tells Amber.
Oh.
And so I actually told the man the night before this happened, ironically. We were going on about 3.5, 4 months at this time, seeing each other off and on whenever I had a chance.
So this is the background of what happened between Amber's aunt and Amber's mom. Obviously, Amber's aunt did not want Amber's mommy to tell Amber the private information and, the struggle that she had. She takes marriage seriously. This other situation happens. Okay, look, y'all can judge everybody. Y'all can judge my Kermit. My point is, okay, bottom line in the situation, no, I don't think that Pookie's mommy should have told Pookie. Look, when Amber gets any information, she wants to blackmail. She wants to judge. She wants to do terrible things to the person like that she knows this information. She always holds things over other people's head. Perfect example, she held the money that Beck got from their family over, their head. Like, just the idea that Amber's aunt says that she was blackmailed by Amber, like, that is wild to me. Pookie, you do know you're ending up probably alone without friends and without partners, because I guarantee, this is my opinion, this is not the first person that she tried to do these things with. Like, she knows this private information and she's going to use it against her aunt. And no, Amber's mom should not have told Amber by now. And even back then, Amber's mommy should have known. She should have known how Pookie is.
And so I finally tell this man, I'm going to have to tell my husband. We're not barely even talking, breathing the same air at this point. I'm not living like a double life, but, I said, I have to tell my husband, if we're going to do this, I got to own it, because either we're going to do it or we're not, and we were talking about if we wanted to make a feature together and all those things, Right. So we're in the process of that. And that very next day is when Amber tried to blackmail me. And she said things like, and it was to try to get my sister to come live with me again, because I would not let her back in my home. She said, I wonder what your husband would think if she knew you were doing what you were doing with the karaoke guy.
Basically, Amber was blackmailing her aunt in order to get her mother back into her sister's house. She said, and she highly implied, that if you don't let my mom back into the house, then your husband is going to find out about your affair. And this woman, Amberlynn Reid, actually believes that her aunt is not supposed to expose her. I'm going to be real with you. I can understand the frustration. Well, I'm just going to tell you what I was really thinking. Were you thinking this too? Let me know in the dislikes and comments down below. I'd expose her too. Basically, because she wanted mom to come back to sister's house, she was willing to break up a marriage. Yes, I understand that what the aunt was doing was already, doing that. But the thing is that it's actually very dangerous to do this. Imagine if Amber had told the aunt's husband and something would have happened to the aunt. You do not get involved in those things. And by the way, this woman was a part of your family. She was your aunt. I can't imagine doing that to my aunt. Well, if you don't take my mom back to the house, I wonder what your husband would think. And this expose is your karma.
And that's how I knew she knew.
The very next day she told her, and then she used it against you.
The very next day she threatened because she knew, but joke was on her because, like I said, I had already told him the night before I was going to have to tell my husband. It was getting to that point. No, I did not expect it to be that next day by all means, but because of what Amber said, I told her, well, joke's on you, because I was going to tell him anyway. So I walked right into the next room and said, guess what? You were right. I am having an affair and we're done.
Oh my gosh.
So it backfired on her, but the fact that she tried made me pretty sick. I was just like, wow.
At what time, what year was this?
This was in 2011 or 2012. She wanted to, was very hurtful.
Yeah.
I had taken her and her brother from California on a trial stay with me before they turned 18. In fact, I think she had just turned 18, but he was under, and they wanted to stay, but I told them they had to go back and do it the right way, the legal way. But by all means, come back to me. I'll take you in a heartbeat. You know, she came back. Okay, Uncle Bumpy was my dad's best friend.
Oh, so he was never related.
This sheds a lot of light on things. I always wondered deep down inside, why was there nobody in Amber's family that wanted to like maybe take care of her and maybe wanted to offer their home to her? You know, why did she had other family members? If her mom couldn't take care of her, why didn't anybody else? And you see that her aunt did try on a trial basis, and you see what Amber did to her. There's just no words for this. I mean, I'm not surprised that she would do this to the people closest to her, but it's just so sad how like that she wants to be seen as the victim, but she actually does that to other people. Also, this is just really sad. Why did you lie that your uncle was your uncle when he wasn't even your uncle? I understand people will say, oh, well, he was very close, like a family member. She made it always seem like he was related to her, and her uncle was not related to her. He was just the best friend of the family. Amber, why not just say that? Lying about everything.
That's another thing me and my sister are fighting for. You know, my sister wants to play this Christian role, recovery, sobriety, this great person that I did think she was for many years in sobriety, but turns out she's turning into this different person, which is a whole nother stream. But she still is married to that man, still to this day, even though she lives with another man for, I don't know, 10 years, something like that now, 12 years. I personally have gotten divorce papers done, like literally sign at the X, initial here, initial here. She hasn't served them. We went out to California. We went out to the courthouse to get the divorce paperwork once again while we were right there. Still didn't do it. She likes to be married to her. Make that make sense.
So stepdaddy is engaged to Amber's mom. Amber's mom was supposed to divorce Amber's dad, but refuses to, hasn't divorced him yet. So how are you going to stay engaged to this man that you're with? Okay. And by the way, the person that brought this to the internet, like as far as her mom, like dating a man that's Amber's stepdaddy, she calls it a stepdaddy, is not the aunt. Okay. It's Amber. Amber made this public first. Never forget. So what she's really about to talk about right now is how Amber's mom is engaged to a guy that she's never going to marry because she doesn't want to divorce her ex-husband. Wonderful.
They were saying
her
that
stepdad, no,
yeah.
It's my sister's long-term boyfriend, or, you know, he thinks he's engaged. My sister's never going to marry him. She's made that very clear. How could she? She's still married.
Wow. Yeah, she was, one of the exes of Amber's was implying that he was acting inappropriately toward Amber at bingo or something. Which, I mean,
I wasn't there, of course, but I seriously doubt that. I know my sister's partner, and he's a really cool guy. He's very laid back, and he probably can't stand Amber because he don't like drama. He don't like drama at all. He don't like a lot of noise. He is a very chilled, hard-working man that likes to just relax and play some bingo at the end of the day.
What a wonderful time to be alive, girls. Okay, as I said before, I do not believe the stuff that Amber allegedly said about her stepdaddy. Amber has denied saying these things, right, about stepdaddy, but one of her exes did allege this, and I believe the ex over Amber. As far as who likes who, well, I'll let you be the judge of that, but, you know, I think it's obvious. I think this is what I think. I think the best and nicest and fairest thing I could say is people tolerate Amber for the sake of other people that they love. That's just my opinion about people around Amber.
Guarantee you he don't like Amber. Guarantee you. To the story, because things weren't adding up. One thing I can say about Amber is she does love her animals very, very much. What, you know, back a while back ago, I remember there were things about, you know, maybe the dog's nails being too long, or you know what I mean. But my God, you know, it happens to people before, because she stole the name of my cat. That's another funny story. Like, what's the chances of two people wanting to name their cat Wasabi?
Oh, she took wasabi from ya.
She took my name, and it's in text. Another fight we got into because I don't believe. No way. I was big into sushi. I wanted an orange cat with green eyes, and I was gonna call him Ginger Wasabi. Whatever. She got the cat first. I was living in an apartment, waiting till I got into a home.
A while back, Amber wouldn't tell people the names that she wanted to name her kids. This is not now. Now she says it, okay? But a while back, she was never going to tell us the names, right? While going around and stealing the name of your aunt's cat. And before anybody says that it's petty, the point is she stays petty. Amber, you stay petty. By the way, fun little fact, I'll just tell you what I always thought. Now I could say it. I had like fleeting thoughts about it, but I wasn't going to, like say it because I try not to say unnecessary things. I always wondered how she came up with the name Wasabi, like, because, okay, you could say, yeah, the wasabi and the, whatever, but I just always thought that that was such a interesting idea that I would never think that Amber would think of. And that's just the truth. I didn't think Amber was ever going to think of such a cute name like Wasabi. And she didn't. You stole your aunt's cat's name. By the way, for those of you that may be thinking or going to comment that, the aunt is super, super, super biased. If she was super biased, then she would just say, Amber's an animal mistreater. She actually says the opposite. I disagree with the aunt on this topic. She says, no, she loves her animals. She loves them. She's not a mistreater. Okay, disagree with you, dear aunt. But this alone proves that she's not fully biased against Amber. She obviously is just speaking from experience, because if she was just biased, she would just say everything negative, but she's not. She's just sharing her story.
The thing of the cat getting out, the thing I had the problem with is timing.
Mm-hmm.
I know she'll lie for her girlfriends just like her girlfriends will lie for her. So you can't really, you gotta play detective when you're messing with Amber, you just have to. So the fact that she came home when she did, I felt was way too soon after losing her. So I felt like she had to know more than what she was sharing. And then now knowing more, it all makes more sense how they were fighting, and that, my sister was going to go get her at one point. But, it's just a whole bunch of little mini lies all in that scenario too. And she says she never was going to move there. Okay. That's why we had conversations on we're going to get a moving truck and she was going to give away the couch in her apartment.
So I think I said this many, many times, and many, many, many people in the community said this. It was obvious that Amber brought her pets to Tommy's and brought so much of her own stuff because she wanted to visit with the hope that Tommy would let her move there. There is the aunt for you telling you that they had plenty of conversations with Amber moving and giving away her couch. This is what I think. I think that she was going to try to stay there permanently, which is why she started doing therapy there and tried to get Tommy to let her stay in Wisconsin. Oh, I'm already in therapy, I'm already here. She picked the wrong one. Amber always would go visit her girlfriends and permanently stay and immediately move in because she wants somebody to do everything for her. And she knows that mommy cannot do everything for her for the rest of her life. It's obvious that Amber was going to move. She continued to lie to her audience yet again while telling her family that she was actually going to move. Not surprising. Yet another lie. What you see throughout this whole thing, I know people say, oh, it's not surprising that she lies. She lies to her family all the time. She lies to her audience all the time and then wonders, why is this my karma? Why is this happening? You reap what you sow. Had you not blackmailed her to end her marriage, like imagine blackmailing your own aunt in order to get her marriage ended as long as she did what you wanted her to do. Unbelievable.
To my daughter and all these different plans, but we were never going to move there. No, that wasn't her intention. She just lies all the time.
It seems all like it. And she said she never lies. She's always telling the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's another lie. Surprise.
So, I guess it's really anybody's guess. But, just personally, I think that Amberlynn would prioritize her own relationship. And if that meant doing something risky with Rarity, I think she would.
It is very hard for me to wrap my brain around that concept. And so I cannot imagine that way of thinking like, hey, I'm going to let my cat that I love so much outdoor in this weather just to stay longer. But then you hear all the fighting and all the accusations made all throughout there, and I'm just so confused. I don't know what happened. She lies to you guys. She lies to us too. You know what I mean? It's not just you guys. It's like when you're like, no, she's not. No, she's not. Oh my God. No, that's just the haters. That's just the haters, to where she gets my sister believing the same stuff just because Amber says it. I'm like, do you know your daughter? She lies.
Well, does your sister not watch any of the stuff online?
She says she doesn't. I don't know.
Well, how would she take Amber's side?
Huh?
Well, how would she take Amber's side? You think that she's like just trying to stick by her no matter what?
My sister is trying to make up for where she fell short for so long. My sister is not dumb to the fact of her mistakes. She made some huge ones. About a dream come true. It's beyond measure, you know? So never would I think that we wouldn't be talking right now. And I might as well just tell you that reason, because that's what's going to come up next, right? Why aren't they talking? Why aren't they talking, right?
Yeah.
It's 100% greed. 1,000% greed. When my sister was early into recovery, I just started buying my home. And me and my husband live a comfortable life. We can go anywhere.
Can I interrupt you first? Is this like personal financial details with you and your sister with your relationship?
No, it's over my sister wanting my mom's house 100% to herself.
Well, yeah, I mean, lots of families fight over.
Yeah, but do you not talk to your sister for 2 years because your mom said something about a house? I didn't even say anything.
So that's what Amber's aunt and Amber's mom are fighting about. Fine, I'm not going to get into it because honestly, I don't care. But I do have a question for Amber. Amber, is this everything you thought it would be? All of your family's problems out there on reaction channels, videos, your aunt calling in to, oh Lordy, it's Kermie. I'm sorry. Oh Lordy, it's Jordy, reaction channel extraordinaire. You know, the person that you never watched since last January. Amber, is this everything you thought it would be? I just want to be very clear. The reason that your aunt is exposing you like this is because of all the things that you've done throughout your life to her when you didn't have to. You could have chosen to be a good person. How about this? You want to be whatever person you are? Fine. Why? Like the pettiness, remember, Amber stays petty, of the lie with the sign in the nursing home about the lunches it's very Amberlynn Reid coded. But the worst is obviously blackmailing an affair that your aunt had to her husband, like doing that. Like, that is sick, in my opinion. So, Amber, is this everything you ever wanted it to be? Like, this expose on your family, okay? Is this everything you ever thought that it would be? I hope it's everything you always wanted, because you're the one that created and caused all of these actions. Had you treated people well, this would have never happened to you. Couldn't have happened to a nicer girl.
That's why my sister hasn't talked to me. She said because of greed. Because siblings, it's usually 50-50. The one, if they want to keep the house, they buy it out, right? They buy the other half of it, right? Well, me knowing that my sister, I mean, we didn't even know if she was going to keep her job, an apartment. I love my sister. I wasn't worried about the details. You can move right into mom's house. We don't worry about it. You'll have a roof over your head, you know? My mom would say, well, doesn't she have to pay you, you know, your half? This conversation just kept coming up. My exact words was, don't worry about it. We'll work it out. Even if she has to pay me $250 for the rest of her life, you know, we'll work it out. Don't worry about it. Does that sound greedy to you? My mom brought up a conversation about the house to me, and all I said was, Mom, I don't think now's the time. And my sister overheard and wanted to question me about it. And I again said, now is not the time. And she blew up on me and said, well, I've already got it in my head that that's my house. That's my house. I have the same job, making really good money. She's in the same relationship. She lives in the same apartment. That's some stability, right? So what would make her not do it 50-50 now? Right? We're both doing really good in life financially.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's the right thing. And that's what 999 people out of 1,000 would agree with, but not my sister.
So basically, the aunt was going to give up their mother's house to Amber's mom because, Amber's mom was struggling and she was saying, hey, we'll work out the financials later. You can have the house. You'll have a roof over your head. But now that the mom is stable, has had the same job for a long time, and is doing well financially, supposedly, according to the aunt, keep in mind that the mother has said on Amber's channel that there's certain things she can't afford, whatever. I don't know, don't care. So now the aunt is saying, well, why can't we go 50-50 on the house? Wonderful. You know what? I really don't care. Do I think that there's some bit of greed going on here? Well, if you really want my opinion, yes. Here's the thing, okay? I think that all of this could have remained hidden, as I said, if only Amberlynn Reid didn't treat people badly and push them to a point where she blackmailed them about affairs so that they could expose her to reaction channels. Again, Pookie, is this everything you thought it would be?
She thinks she should have it all because of what was said years ago. When she had nothing. So that's the true colors of my sister. I wanted to open my mouth. My sister reached out to me, and Amber reached out to me. Isn't that funny?
Oh, well, they probably want you to shut up.
Yeah, of course they do, because they know I have so much to say. When I heard that she hates Snowflake so much, and of all the people I've talked to, Snowflake and da-da-da, I looked at my husband, I said, well, I guess when I'm ready to talk, I know who I'll talk to. That's what I want. I'm done. So this is what partly this is about, getting my truth out and then being capital DONE done. No more chances, no more tries. I'm done.
Yeah.
Done. So.
She mostly doesn't like Snowflake because do you know the reason why?
Because he points out factual stuff about her?
Mainly, it's the things that he has had to say in regards to that with Amber, and that's specifically what she does not like about it. I mean, in addition to being a reaction channel and, critiquing her content and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really incredibly simple for me. Amber Reid told a bunch of stories from her past that does not add up. And the reason that they do not add up is because she would tell certain stories, and then the next time she talked about it, she would tell it totally different with different details and different statements that she would make about it. And Mr. Snowflake took her clips, put them together, and said, which one is it? And she doesn't like it. See, the majority of reaction channels take her clips and they react to it. And Amber doesn't like it when people shed light. And I don't even want to say, that deeply shedding light, because it could be anybody. You don't have to be a reaction channel. The stuff that she has said about her past, when she says one story, the next time she talks about it, it's totally different. So people talk about that. Mr. Snowflake's not the only person that talked about that. So of course she doesn't like him for that.
Obviously hearing people talk about your family, knowing some, assuming the other, at the very beginning, it was really hard to hear all this. My sister, even though I get her past is her past, but I mean, my God, she's made some wonderful changes and overall, has done a lot of great things and does a lot of, for people that are still out there sick and suffering. I've seen her give out a lot, so she's trying to do the right thing. So it was really hard to see negative things at times, but it's like, I guess that never will end. Tired of people blaming their childhood, their whole life. I'm sorry what happened to you happened to you. I wish half of the stuff that happened to me didn't either. But at what age do we say, okay, I'm either going to get over this with help? Like I did 16 years of counseling every week, and I would try to get her to do that too, but of course not. But that's the choices you have, right? You either deal with your things and move on, or you stay trapped. And she continues to stay trapped.
I've always said it's like a blessing and a curse for Amber, because I mean it's a blessing because she only has to work a few hours a week and she can make more than any of us, but it's also a curse because it confines her to this social media life that's very toxic. Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
She gives out so much. She gives gifts to her girlfriends. Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it right on videos. She don't spoil her mom, my grandma. She don't do her family. Nothing. When she goes out to eat with my family, she don't pay.
Oh, really?
She don't give my sister gas money. Ever, even though she drives her all over the place.
Oh, I was about to say, oh, she should at least be given, if she's going to be her personal taxi like that.
There you have it. There you have it. She doesn't even give gas money to mom. And by the way, Amber, I know you're going to refute this. I know. She does not give gas money. She does not pay for any of the dinners of the family. This is what I think happened. I think that after she spent a lot of money on Destiny, and she, in her mind, spent so much money on Beck, even though the things that Beck did for you were like, you can't even put a financial monetary value on what Beck did for you, but I digress. The point is, I think that she felt that she was taken advantage of, and she doesn't want to give her family any money. But yet, she boasts all the time about how, oh, well, I paid for all these things with Tommy. I got her, I bought her this and I paid for the casino. So very interesting to see that the aunt is saying that Amber doesn't pay for dinner. I wonder if she even pays for herself. That's very interesting. Amber, I will say one thing. Yes, Amber has been taken advantage of financially before, but that doesn't mean that you can't be nice to your family sometimes. I just honestly, I remember that time when Amber showed that she was buying her mommy something in the store because mommy couldn't afford it. That is all for show. It's all performative. So she's not giving her family anything. Amazing. The other thing that the aunt says, I agree with. Yeah, we're sorry that you had, it hard when you were younger. A lot of us had really not the best things happen to us, but none of us treat people terribly and try to blackmail them about the affairs that they had. Your own family, blackmailing your own family. Pookie, I hope this is everything you've ever dreamed of.
Well, it's owed in Amber's mind. I mean, isn't that the least she could do, right? That's her mentality. So, she don't even think about it because, of course, she don't have a car. She don't pay for gas. She don't have to think of stuff like that. But any normal person, even your best friend, your best friend, if you keep taking them to the store, taking them to bingo and taking them out to eat, eventually they're going to be like, hey, you want some gas money?
Yeah, really?
Not her. Nope.
Oh, God. Pretty entitled.
Yeah.
Yep. If you had anything to say about, because there wasn't a whole lot about, they said that she and had some interesting interactions.
Okay, so Jordy is asking about ex-wifey, and the aunt is about to tell you that out of all the girlfriends, she actually did meet ex-wifey once.
The only one that I actually got to meet, and that's because she brought Amber to Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
And she helped Amber move her belongings in and set up her, oh God, I don't know. I think it was like a TV stand or something. That's what she was working on when I walked into the apartment the one and only time. But so I got to physically see her, meet her. It's about as far as it goes.
Oh, all right.
Amber told me there was so much stuff to tell me about gonna just surprise me, and she was horrible and she did horrible things and all these things, and she was gonna tell us all about it as soon as she got here.
Oh, so, probably because she didn't have anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what she does to these girlfriends, though. I don't know if she's paying them. I don't know how she keeps people as quiet as she has for as long. Now I know they're starting to say little things, but the whole time they don't, even when me and Amber were talking, never once did I ever talk to them. Ever once. She keeps them very secluded from her people. For sure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just gotta let it out sometimes. I've been holding it on for way too long.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll work something out for you in the future with them. But
you have to have that desire, and I'm sorry, I'm not even trying to be extra rude or anything.
Yeah.
Decades, okay, decades. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yep.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make up and make things better. There's nothing they can say or do at this point, and that's why I'm doing this, to make sure to, cap lock it in. Destroy anything that could have possibly been left.
Okay, so Amber's mom wants to take the house away from the aunt, doesn't want it to be 50-50. Amber has been lying and blackmailing her aunt for a long time. She's been lying to her for a long time and blackmailing, and apparently, yes, she told the aunt that ex-wifey did a whole bunch of terrible things. You know, isn't it amazing, Amber, that wifey, you claim, did so many bad things, but she had enough honor to drive you, okay? And she was nice enough and honorable enough to drive you to Oklahoma because you refused to get on an airplane. But Foodie Beauty can get on several, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to try to go over Amber's response. I already told you. Amber's response is she's done nothing. But I'm going to go into depth with Amber's unhinged live stream response to this when I can. Thank you all so very much for watching. Check out Jordy's video, link below in my description box. And to Amber, I hope this is everything you've ever wanted. You caused this. You did this. And now you can enjoy it. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out this video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.